Well, hi guys, it's that time. It's our Bible teaching snippet of the day. I'm still in the book of John talking about the last hours and days before Jesus is arrested, beaten, crucified, and resurrects. I want to do a real quick recap to help you so you understand the timeline. In chapter 12, verse 42 through 50 is Jesus' last public ministry where he talked to the priest and all of those people, but it's his last time to do a public teaching, okay? And then we see in chapter 13, verse 1, this is where they have gone to prepare the upper room for the last meal, which is Passover for them, okay? Jesus is killed on Passover, but they're celebrating the Passover meal this night. There's actually different Passover days depending on what area you're in Jerusalem. I know a lot of people don't understand that. In Jerusalem, they celebrate the Passover on a specific day, but in Samaria, they celebrate it even on a different day. So anyway, let me keep rolling though. In the upper room where they've set up for the meal, what we have is that the first thing Jesus does is wash their feet and teach them, because there's been strife with the disciples about who's the greatest of them all, and all of them, they're human, okay, and they're not filled with the Holy Spirit. They're still unredeemed. They're following Jesus the best they can, but they still have a lot of flesh and a lot of pride and a lot of competition. So Jesus washes their feet to show them. Now watch. I told you in my other snippet that the foot washing was for slaves and servants only. And usually it was the lowest of all jobs of a slave. So it was the lowest of the lowest slaves that washed feet, okay? And Jesus over there is washing their feet. And that is shocking these guys that he's actually washing their feet, and he's their rabbi, he's their teacher, and at this point they realize that he was sent by God, and they've seen all these miracles, and he's down washing their filthy feet before a meal. So the next thing I want to tell you is in chapter 13, verse 35, they get up from the meal. Now they've done the foot washing, they've had the meal. And Jesus stops and hands Judas the bread. He eats it. Satan enters Judas's heart, and he leaves immediately. And Jesus wraps up whatever in the upper room, and they head out to the Mount of Olives. The Mount of Olives simply means a hillside of a garden of nothing but olive trees. Jesus goes there, and he talks to the boys from chapter 13:35 all the way up to chapter 14 of John. And then that's when they, all the way through 14. And then in chapter 15, he's done at the Mount of Olives, and they head to the Garden of Gethsemane, and this is where Judas will come with the army of people with clubs and torches to arrest Jesus. So today, let me see what I want to talk to you about. I am so very, very, very tempted to take you back and explain some things to you about Passover, which is the Last Supper, which is our communion that we do in churches. I have not sat in one church where communion was taught correctly. I'll say that again. I have not sat in one church over the last 10 years where communion was actually taught to the people the correct way. Communion usually is taught from an exclusivity thing, okay? It's exclusive, and it also, it only includes certain people, not even all Christians, and it excludes a lot of people. And I'd like to correct that. Today I'm not going to do that because I'm already pretty much done with my Bible teaching, and I'm going to need the whole 6 or 7 minutes, or maybe even do two series on this to teach you so you understand what communion really is and how we should be taking it in the frame of mind that we should be in. But I'll save that for another day. I tell you what I will do. I'm going to put this down because that's what I've got it written in. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to teach you something really quick, and then I'll get out of here and let you go enjoy your day. This won't take but just a second. I am going to go ahead and flip over to chapter 16 and just teach you something really quick. And Jesus is talking about the Holy Spirit coming. He's going home to the Father. He's sending the Spirit. And he talks about that in verse 26 of chapter 15. But I'm going to move forward to chapter 16 and read this to you. It says, "Nevertheless," now this is read, it's Jesus, "I tell you the truth. It is expedient and very, very good for you that I go away. For if I do not go away, the Comforter cannot come. But if I depart, I will send him to you." Now watch, this is what the Holy Spirit does for us and for everybody on the earth. "And when he comes, he will reprove the world of sin and of righteousness and of judgment. Of sin, because they," people who aren't saved, "believe not on me. Of righteousness, because I go to my Father, and you will see me no more." In other words, he's leaving in the flesh, and he won't be here to do what he's been doing in his ministry, to prove to people that God is right and the life they've been living is wrong, and they need to come to the Father and become who they were created to be. And then verse 11 says, "Of judgment, because the prince of the world is judged." Okay, remember I told you when Jesus went to the cross, he judged Satan, and Satan was cast out. I want to just give you a couple of more little nuggets out of here, because I've got my expanded Bible pulled up, and it says here that I go away and I'll send the Helper, the Counselor, the Advocate, the Holy Spirit to you. And if I don't leave, the Helper cannot come. But he's going to convict, expose, and convince the world about sin and about being right with God and about judgment, meaning that he will convict people about being wrong about God and turn them toward God. We can talk all day to sinners and unborn again people, and they cannot simply get it. The Holy Spirit is the one that has to draw them in. And there's your process of that, of them being wrong and living a lie, and God being the right way and giving them the life he created them for, and of the fact that sin and wrong living has already been judged. Now come and let me show you the right way. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up. And why don't y'all leave me some comments and tell me, do you want me to teach on communion while I'm here, or do you want me to keep pushing toward the cross? I'll do whatever you ask me to do. God bless you. I love you. Bye-bye.